Hi, I'm Noah Robichon. Welcome to the 29th floor. I'm here with Mark Wilson today to talk, of course, about Apple's Worldwide Developer Conference. The keynote actually ended with the biggest news of the day, which was Apple Music. It's a new service. It has three parts. The first is a Spotify competitor that's a streaming music service, and then a radio station called Beats One. And finally, there's a Connect feature, which is really a way for fans and artists to connect with each other. Mark, what do you think?
Look, I don't know if it's gonna work, okay? But I did think Beats One is an interesting approach to the space right now. Something interesting they mentioned on stage was this idea that people could actually have a conversation about music happening in real time. And that kind of feels like BS on one hand, but on another hand, you see it when you watch Game of Thrones and you watch Twitter or you watch the Oscars. And so I think bringing that to music isn't a stupid approach, at least.
Let's move on to another announcement, which was Siri got a big upgrade.
Absolutely. It's really you having a more natural conversation with Siri, where Siri is really not just answering your question, but setting you up with an action.
It's really nice. It also reminds me a lot of Google now. It seems like they're sort of copying almost. I'd say another move that was very Google-like was their introduction of the Swift programming language going open source. You're gonna see a whole bunch more apps appear in the store. At the same time, they unlocked all of the sensors on the Apple Watch with watchOS to developers. So you're really gonna see a whole different kind of space open up in terms of what can be done with apps because they went open source. Another interesting introduction was split screen for the iPad. So clearly we now have multitasking built in a real way on the iPad with multiple window panes and even picture-in-picture video they showed off, which means tweeting and watching TV just got a whole lot easier.
I actually think that the bigger deal is that this is on desktops and laptops in OS X. And I think it points to the idea that really Apple's thinking about merging them in the future.
Another place where I think you're gonna see a merging between the desktop operating system and the iOS operating system is where you have deep linking within apps from search. So search got a whole lot more functional. The cool thing here is that they actually will look inside of your apps and bring up search results from inside of there. And if you choose that app, it's gonna deep link you and open up that app and bring you right to where you need to be in that app. That hasn't been done before.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be so powerful that in a year or two, most of us, when we use our iPhones, we're gonna be starting from that search screen because we're gonna be trying to do actions, right? Like looking up a restaurant or a recipe or messaging someone. And this screen actually juggles all of those sort of impulses at once.
So the final thing is Apple News. It's a curated, personalized news aggregator that can also add news sources into it automatically. It's pretty powerful.
Facebook just launched instant articles. Snapchat just launched a discover feature. You're seeing all of these platforms suddenly, hosting publisher content. And now we're seeing Apple basically doing the same thing. But I guess maybe better late than never.
Yeah. Well, what did you think of Apple's announcements? What did we miss? Hashtag 29th floor on Twitter. We want to hear from you, and Mark and I will respond if you've got a question. Thanks, and see you next time.